The church terrorism attack in Nigeria's Kwara state has left widespread shock and concern. On November 18, 20, gunmen stormed the Christ Apostolic Church in Iruku, a town near the Kwara-Kogi border, during an evening worship service. The attack resulted in the deaths of at least 3 people, with several others injured, and the pastor and multiple worshippers were abducted. The attack occurred around 6 p.m. local time at the Christ Apostolic Church in Iruku, Kwara State. The gunmen, reportedly Fulani ethnic militia, stormed the church, shooting sporadically and causing panic among the congregation. At least 3 people were killed, including 2 found dead inside the church and 1 in nearby bushland. Several others were injured, with a vigilante sustaining gunshot wounds. Number of abductees, reports vary, but approximately 15 worshippers were taken hostage, including the pastor. A church official reportedly mentioned a ransom demand of 100 million naira, roughly $69,000 per worshipper. The Kwara State Police Command and local vigilante groups responded rapidly, but the attackers escaped into the bush. Authorities are working to identify the perpetrators and secure the release of the abducted worshippers. U.S. President Donald Trump condemned the violence and warned of consequences if Nigeria fails to protect Christians. Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, accused the government of turning a blind eye to Christian persecution. Pattern of attacks. The incident is part of a broader pattern of attacks on Christian communities in Nigeria's Middle Belt. The attack highlights the need for increased security measures to protect worshippers and prevent such incidents.
Terrifying moments at a church in central Nigeria. A pastor and his worshippers are in the middle of prayer when all of a sudden, the sound of gunshots sends them running for cover. Seconds later, the gunmen are inside. Officials later say at least 2 people were killed and others were kidnapped. The attack adding more pressure on the Nigerian government following threats of military intervention by President Trump over what he calls the persecution of Christians in one of Africa's richest countries. When asked if he'd consider strikes or even boots on the ground.
Could be. I mean, a lot of things I envisage, a lot of things. They're killing the Christians and killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
Now, an unlikely supporter, rapper Nicki Minaj, who was born in Trinidad, speaking at the UN last night.
I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and for his leadership on the global stage. In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed.
But in Nigeria, a country that's 50% Muslim and just 48% Christian, violence is a complex and sweeping issue. Nigerian authorities tonight continue their search for more than 20 girls who were abducted in the middle of the night by armed men from their predominantly Muslim school. Among the dead is the deputy principal. His wife telling reporters he pleaded for his life, got up to pray, and she says that's when they pulled the trigger and killed him. The school is located in northwest Nigeria, a mostly Muslim region of the country that is grappling with an Islamist insurgency. Most notably in 2014, the Islamist group Boko Haram kidnapped 270 girls, while many escaped or were later released. Some have never returned.
We have been investigating these conflicts for over 15 years now. And I believe that reducing it to religion simplifies the whole situation. The country is overridden and by gunmen who are on rampage, and they kill people regardless of their faith.
The Nigerian president pushing back on claims his country is religiously intolerant, saying it's a democracy with constitutional guarantees of religious liberty.
Daniele Hamamdjian joins us tonight from London. And Danielle, Pope Leo just this week and also referencing Nigeria as well.
That's right, Tom. In a post on X on Sunday, Pope Leo said Christians are suffering discrimination and persecution in various parts of the world, and among the countries he listed was Nigeria. We should also mention that those gunmen you saw earlier in the piece didn't only kidnap the worshippers from that church, but the pastor as well.
And then, Danielle, so we have any sense of why President Trump has taken such an interest in Nigeria with that post on X?
Yeah, a lot of people had the sense that this came out of nowhere. In fact, according to multiple U.S. officials speaking to NBC, this all started with a Fox News report on violence in Nigeria earlier this month. The president asked his staff for more information, and shortly after, he declared it a country of particular concern.